Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. What I'm about to reveal today is absolutely explosive. Multiple royal insiders and historians are confirming that Prince William has a comprehensive plan for when he becomes king, and it involves completely cutting Harry and Meghan out of the royal family. We're not talking about gentle distancing or quiet exclusion. Sources describe William's approach as slash and burn, like an unsupervised, overly enthusiastic work experience arborist. He's planning to go after titles, staff, palaces, freebie country estates, and yes, he's very much expected to deal decisively with Harry and Meghan. But here's what makes this particularly brutal. William isn't waiting until he becomes king to start implementing his strategy. He's already making moves right now that are designed to infuriate the Sussexes and send clear messages about what's coming. From his fury over their 2026 Australia tour plans, to the Jason Knauf appointment, to learning from Andrew's title stripping, William is actively preparing the groundwork for when he has full power. The question isn't if William will take action against Harry and Meghan. The question is how far he'll go and whether his strategy will make reconciliation impossible forever. So let's dive into everything we know about William's brutal plan and what it means for the future of the royal family. The Australia tour fury. William is seething. Harry and Meghan's 2026 plans. Let's start with the story that has William absolutely furious right now. Harry and Meghan's planned 2026 tour of Australia. And what's making this particularly inflammatory is how Harry and Meghan are positioning this trip. Earlier in January, Australian celebrity psychologist Angela Pearl shared a letter on Instagram that she'd received from Harry and Meghan. The letter featured their joint royal cipher, that's the official monogram with the crown, and was formally signed Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. In the letter, the Sussexes thanked Pearl for her participation at an event and explicitly stated they are looking to visit Australia again. According to sources speaking to Closer magazine and Heat magazine, they have been wanting to go back to Australia for a while now. They'd love to take Archie and Lily. This would mark Harry and Meghan's first return to Australia since their hugely successful 2018 royal tour, back when they were still working royals and Meghan was pregnant with Archie. Why William views this as fraudulent? Now, on the surface you might think, so what? They want to visit Australia. Why is that a problem? Here's why William is seething, according to insiders. The Sussexes are using their royal titles and royal styling to position this as a quasi-official tour when it's actually a private commercial trip. No doubt they will be treated like visiting royalty, and that is not sitting well with William. He is seething, a source told Closer magazine. Another insider elaborated, William sees that kind of thing as fraudulent. And now that he's aware they are planning this trip down under, he will be reaching out to all his contacts there to let his feelings be known. Think about what fraudulent means in this context. William believes Harry and Meghan are deliberately creating confusion about whether this is an official royal visit or a private trip. They're using their titles to gain perks and publicity while having stepped down from royal duties. The commercial angle. But wait, there's more. According to sources, this isn't just about Harry wanting to revisit meaningful places from his royal past. Meghan allegedly has commercial motives for the trip. Meghan reportedly views the trip as a chance to expand her business footprint, where she's reportedly going to apply for trademarks and connect with high-profile contacts in Australia, an insider told IB Times UK. Sources suggest she's been actively encouraging Harry to pursue both personal exposure and professional opportunities, potentially stepping on the interests of senior royals. So while William focuses on charity and public service, Harry and Meghan are apparently combining personal nostalgia with commercial brand building, all while using their royal titles to open doors. William's active response. Here's what makes this particularly significant. William isn't just privately fuming, he's taking action. According to sources, William views their use of titles for perks and publicity as unacceptable and is actively reaching out to contacts in Australia to ensure the couple's activities do not undermine the Crown's reputation. Let that sink in. The future king is personally contacting his Australian connections to warn them about Harry and Meghan's visit and make clear that it does not have royal approval. He's aware they are planning this trip down under, and he will be reaching out to all his contacts there to let his feelings be known, an insider confirmed. This is William essentially trying to undermine Harry and Meghan's tour before it even happens. He wants to ensure that when they arrive in Australia, they're treated as private citizens with royal titles, not as representatives of the British monarchy. The warning shot, perhaps most tellingly, sources say Harry and Meghan's actions have now all just inflamed things more and made William more resolute in his plan to strip them of their titles. The Australia tour isn't just making William angry, it's strengthening his determination to take away the very titles they're using to gain access and attention. This represents a perfect example of the cycle we're seeing. Harry and Meghan leverage their royal status for opportunities. William gets furious and becomes more determined to strip those titles. Harry and Meghan feel threatened and double down on using their titles while they still can, which makes William even more resolved. It's an escalating spiral with no obvious off-ramp. The Jason Knauf appointment, a deliberate provocation, the man who filed the bullying complaint. Now let's talk about one of William's most strategic and frankly savage moves, appointing Jason Knauf as CEO of the Earthshot Prize, William's flagship environmental initiative. If you don't immediately understand why this is significant, let me remind you. Jason Knauf is the former royal aide who filed the original bullying complaint against Meghan Markle in 2018. Knauf documented allegations that Meghan had driven 2 personal assistants out of the household and created an environment that made staff members feel humiliated and unsafe. This complaint became the subject of an internal Buckingham Palace investigation, the results of which have never been made public. Harry and Meghan have always maintained that the bullying allegations were part of a calculated smear campaign designed to undermine Meghan. They've never forgiven Knauf for making these allegations public, and William just put him in charge of his most prestigious project. This is precisely what William intended, royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams told Fox News Digital. Prince William's decision to make Jason Knauf, the former private secretary of the Sussexes, the CEO of his most prestigious project, will infuriate Harry and Meghan. But here's the key part. It is impossible to avoid feeling that this is precisely what William intended. Let that sink in. This wasn't an oversight. This wasn't William being tone deaf. This was a deliberate choice made with full knowledge that it would infuriate the Sussexes. As far as the Sussexes are concerned, Knauf undoubtedly has pariah status, Fitzwilliams noted. The message being sent. So what message is William sending with this appointment? First, I trust and reward people who stood up to you. Knauf filed a complaint because he believed Meghan was mistreating staff. Whether you believe those allegations or not, Knauf clearly thought he was doing the right thing, and William is essentially validating that by giving him this position. Second, I don't care how angry this makes you. William could have chosen anyone to lead the Earthshot Prize. The fact that he chose the one person guaranteed to enrage Harry and Meghan shows he's no longer concerned about their feelings. Third, this is the kind of people who will surround me when I'm king. William is building his team, and it consists of people loyal to the institution, not to Harry and Meghan. Knauf's recent interview, making this even more pointed, just before Meghan's Netflix series With Love Meghan premiered in early March 2025, Jason Knauf gave a rare televised interview to 60 Minutes Australia. The timing seemed deliberately designed to remind the world of the bullying allegations just as Meghan was launching her lifestyle brand. When asked about the public attention he received after the allegations went public, Knauf said, I think it's tough, but it's probably quite good. You know, as someone who has been helping other people through how to deal with the public eye, you probably have to take your own medicine sometimes. He added, you can't choose just to take the fun stuff in any job. And that applies to the prince and princess as well as everyone else working for them, so I wouldn't change anything. That last line, I wouldn't change anything, is Knauf saying he stands by his decision to file the complaint. He has no regrets, and William just rewarded that loyalty with one of the most prestigious positions in his charitable empire. The Andrew lesson. A warning shot across Harry's bow. How Andrew's title stripping changed everything. One of the most significant developments shaping William's approach to Harry and Meghan is what just happened with Prince Andrew. The way King Charles stripped Andrew of all his titles in October 2025 has been described as a very useful exercise and a direct warning to Harry. Royal historian Andrew Lowney told News Nation, "Getting rid of Andrew has been a very useful exercise in showing what's possible regarding titles, and it's a warning shot across Harry's bow. Think about what this means. For years people wondered whether it was even legally possible to strip a prince of his titles. Andrew's situation proved definitively that yes, it can be done. The king used letters patent, an official royal document, to remove Andrew's prince title. Royal warrants were sent to remove his peerages. The Ministry of Defence stripped his last remaining military title. It was comprehensive, it was swift, and it demonstrated that when a monarch decides to act, there are very few limits on what can be done." William's role in Andrew's downfall. According to multiple sources, Prince William was the driving force behind the decision to strip Andrew of his titles and evict him from Royal Lodge. Kate and William were reportedly the ones who pushed for this decisive action after Virginia Giuffre's posthumous memoir was published. They felt the palace couldn't continue protecting Andrew, given the detailed allegations in the memoir. This tells us several things about William. First, he's willing to take action against family members when he believes the institution requires it. The fact that Andrew is his uncle didn't matter. The damage to the monarchy's reputation mattered more. Second, he believes in decisive, comprehensive action rather than half measures. They didn't just ask Andrew to step back or reduce his profile, they stripped everything. Third, he's not afraid of creating permanent family rifts when principle is at stake. Andrew will never forgive William for this. The relationship is destroyed, and William proceeded anyway. Now apply all of that to the Harry and Meghan situation. The template for what's coming. William will further slim down the monarchy, Lowney explained, and titles will be stripped from all non-working royals, including Harry and Meghan. The Andrew precedent has established legal mechanism. They now know exactly how to strip titles, public support. The British public largely supported Andrew's title removal family consequences. Yes, it destroys relationships, but that's acceptable speed. It can be done relatively quickly when the monarch decides. For Harry and Meghan watching this unfold, the message is clear. What happened to Andrew could happen to you. And William was the one who made it happen. The slash and burn strategy, what William plans when he's king. The radical house cleaning. According to a blistering report from news.com.au, Prince William looks to take to the royal establishment and to slash and burn like an unsupervised, overly enthusiastic work experience arborist when he accedes to the throne. When William becomes king, he's expected to go after titles, staff, palaces, freebie country estates the size of lesser postcodes. This isn't subtle, this isn't gradual reform, this is William planning a radical transformation of the monarchy the moment he has the power to do so. The Sussex question. And according to multiple sources, Harry and Meghan are very much in William's sights. A source told the National Examiner, "It's pretty much accepted within the royal household that once he does take the throne, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will immediately get their titles yanked." The insider continued, "He hasn't said it publicly, but the things he said in this interview, this big emphasis on how he will change things, is certainly being seen by a lot of people as him all but coming out and confirming that cutting Harry and Meghan completely loose is part of the plan." Note the phrase, cutting Harry and Meghan completely loose, not reducing their role, not limiting their activities, completely loose. William's public statements about change. In a candid interview with Eugene Levy on The Reluctant Traveller, William spoke about his future as monarch, stating, "I think it's safe to say that change is on my agenda." While William didn't specifically mention Harry and Meghan, royal watchers interpreted this as confirmation of his plans for major reform. The context matters here. William made these comments after years of being asked about reconciliation with Harry, after the Spare memoir, after the Netflix series, after watching Harry and Meghan continue to monetize their royal connection while criticizing the institution. When William says, "change is on my agenda," insiders believe he's talking about ensuring that people who attack the monarchy from the outside don't get to maintain insider privileges. The Beatrice and Eugenie factor William is also expected to address Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie's roles. While they currently maintain a half-in, half-out arrangement that Harry wanted but was denied, sources suggest William will rationalise this too. The key difference: Beatrice and Eugenie are loyal to the institution. They don't publicly criticise the family, they don't do tell-all interviews or write memoirs attacking their relatives. William's approach appears to be, if you're loyal and helpful when called upon, you can maintain your titles even without being a working royal, but if you actively work against the institution, you lose everything. Kate's conflicted position. Interestingly, sources say Princess Kate is somewhat torn about William's plans. Kate adores her husband and supports his vision, but she's torn, an insider revealed to AOL. She's always been the peacemaker and doesn't want William's decisions to burn bridges with Harry forever. She worries William might regret going too far. Kate's instincts are to protect relationships and leave a door open. But she's realistic too. If the decision is to cut Harry out completely, she knows there's no coming back from that. This suggests that while Kate supports William, she's also thinking about the long-term consequences and whether complete estrangement is really the right approach. However, another source told Radar Online that Kate has told William she supports him through every choice, every shift and every test that comes with it, suggesting that ultimately she's backing his decisions even if she has reservations. Will William actually strip their titles? The strategic calculation. The smarter strategy. Now here's where things get interesting. Despite all the reports about William planning to strip Harry and Meghan's titles, some royal experts suggest he might take a different approach, one that's actually more devastating. Royal commentator Afua Acheampong Hagan explained, taking away his brother and sister-in-law's titles as a priority would just make him look petty. I don't think he's got time to do that. And also, he doesn't want that to be the focus of his reign when it comes. This is brilliant strategic thinking. If William's first major act as king is stripping Harry and Meghan's titles, it would dominate headlines and overshadow his coronation, make him look vindictive and petty, turn him into the villain in many people's eyes, give Harry and Meghan ammunition for their victim narrative, making the titles meaningless. Instead, sources suggest William might take a more subtle but equally effective approach. He'll simply make the titles irrelevant. How? By never acknowledging them in any official capacity, not inviting them to state events or royal gatherings, excluding them from official photographs and family moments, not including them in any royal tours or diplomatic functions, making it clear through actions, not statements, that they're not part of the institution. This way, Harry and Meghan can technically keep their titles, but those titles become empty symbols with no actual meaning or value. As one insider put it, the titles become worthless if William refuses to acknowledge them in any meaningful way. The brand value question. There's another consideration. Some experts suggest that Harry and Meghan's brand is already becoming worthless even with their titles. Their staff exodus, financial struggles with Archewell, mixed Netflix reviews, and constant controversy have damaged their commercial appeal. Meghan's With Love Meghan show received a devastating 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. By this logic, William might calculate that the titles will become valueless on their own without him having to do anything. Harry and Meghan's constant commercialisation is actually devaluing the royal connection, not enhancing it. Why make himself look petty by stripping titles when the market is already doing it for him? Harry's preparation. Interestingly, there are signs that Harry might already be preparing for life without his title. In January 2026, Harry participated in the St. Regis World Snow Polo Championship in Aspen, Colorado. According to page 6, he competed under the name Harry Wales, not Prince Harry or the Duke of Sussex. Sources said he wanted a day of no titles, just fun. But is this really just about having fun? Or is Harry testing what it feels like to go by Harry Wales, potentially preparing for a future where that's his only option? Meanwhile, Meghan told guest Mindy Kaling on her Netflix show, "You know I'm Sussex now, you have kids," and you go, "No, I share my name with my children. It just means so much to go, this is our family name, our little family name." This suggests Meghan is very attached to the Sussex identity and would fight hard to keep it. The long game, William's preparation for kingship, the secret war plan. According to royal biographer Tina Brown in her book Palace Papers, William began preparing for a fallout with Harry long before the rift became public. Brown revealed that when Harry and Meghan began discussing stepping back from royal life, William privately admitted, "I'm afraid the wheels are going to fall off with Harry. William even asked a retired palace aide to return temporarily to manage the looming crisis. He saw what was coming and started planning for it. This tells us something crucial about William. He thinks strategically and long-term. He's not reacting emotionally in the moment. He's been planning his response to the Harry problem for years. Like any divorce, much of the conflict came down to money, and, as usual in this saga, there were hot temperaments and cold misunderstandings, Brown wrote about Harry and Meghan's departure. The fact that William was preparing contingency plans this far back shows he understands the stakes and has been methodically building his strategy. Little interest in reconciliation. Despite occasional reports suggesting otherwise, sources consistently say William has little interest in reconciliation with Prince Harry. While Harry reportedly hopes for improved relations with King Charles, his relationship with Prince William remains frozen, according to the News International. This is important because it means all the reports about potential olive branches or chances for reunion are likely wishful thinking. William has apparently decided that Harry made his choice, and William has made his. William is laser-focused on high-impact societal change rather than family feuds, Achimpong Hagen noted. This framing is key to understanding William's mindset. He's not spending his time plotting revenge against Harry. He's focused on his work, Homewards to End Homelessness, the Earthshot Prize for Environmental Innovation, preparing for his future role. Harry and Meghan are a distraction from that work, so William's approach is to minimise that distraction by cutting them out entirely. The Kate factor revisited. Throughout all of this, Kate has been William's partner and supporter. After her cancer battle, sources say she has a new perspective on what really matters. Kate has stood firmly behind William through months of fraught talks and hard choices, and it has weighed heavily on her and left her in no mood to deal with Camilla, an insider told Radar Online, referring to Kate's support during the Andrew crisis. This suggests Kate's support for William's decisive action isn't just about Harry and Meghan. It's about a broader philosophy of protecting the institution and making tough calls when necessary. For William, the summit is about the monarchy's survival, a source explained to AOL. He wants to slim down the institution, focusing on his family and the next generation. Kate apparently shares this vision, even if she has some reservations about cutting Harry out completely. Conclusion: a monarchy transformed. What we've learned as we step back and look at everything we've discussed today, what emerges is a portrait of a future king who has made some fundamental decisions about his reign before he's even taken the throne. William has decided that the monarchy must be slimmed down to remain viable and relevant. Loyalty to the institution matters more than family connections. Decisive action is better than half measures. He won't be held hostage by family members who attack the monarchy. Harry and Meghan's continued use of royal titles while commercialising their status is unacceptable. The Andrew precedent proves comprehensive title removal is possible. The current escalation. Right now, in January 2026. We're watching this strategy play out in real time. William is seething over the Australia tour plans. He's actively contacting Australian connections to undermine the trip he's appointed Jason Knauf to a prestigious position, despite knowing it will infuriate the Sussexes. He's watched and learned from Andrew's title stripping. He's making it clear through Kate that clear lines will be drawn in 2026. The questions we're left with: will William actually strip Harry and Meghan's titles when he becomes king, or will he use the smarter strategy of simply making those titles meaningless through exclusion? How far is William willing to go? Will he allow Harry back for major family events like coronations and funerals, or is the door completely closed? Can Kate's peacekeeping instincts moderate William's approach? Or has even she reached the point where she supports complete separation? Is reconciliation possible before William becomes king? Or are we watching these final years of Charles's reign as the last chance for brotherly rapprochement? What will Harry and Meghan do if they genuinely believe their titles are at risk? Will they fight, negotiate, or prepare for life as private citizens? The tragedy of it all. Here's what makes this whole situation tragic. William and Harry were once incredibly close. After their mother's death, they had each other. They were the only two people who truly understood what the other had been through. But the institution, the media pressure, Meghan's entry into the family, the differing visions for what royal life should be, all of it created an unbridgeable gap between them. And now we have William methodically preparing to sever whatever connections remain. not out of hate, but out of a cold calculation that the monarchy's survival requires it. The 2026 timeline. As we move through 2026, several key moments will reveal how William's strategy is progressing. The Australia tour, if it happens. How will Australian officials treat Harry and Meghan? Major royal events. Will Harry and Meghan be invited? If so, what role will they play? Charles's health. If the king's condition worsens, will that force reconciliation or accelerate the separation? William's public statements. Will he make any explicit comments about his plans for reform? Final thoughts. Will William destroy Harry and Meghan when he becomes king? The answer seems to be he'll destroy their ability to function as quasi-royals while monetizing their connection to the institution. Whether that involves formally stripping their titles or simply making those titles worthless through exclusion remains to be seen. But the end result will be the same. Harry and Meghan will be completely cut off from the royal family in any meaningful way. William isn't acting out of spite or revenge. He's acting out of what he believes is necessity. He sees Harry and Meghan as a threat to the institution he will one day lead, and he's preparing to neutralize that threat comprehensively. The only question is whether Harry and Meghan will accept their new reality quietly, or whether they'll fight back with more revelations, interviews, and public attacks. Either way, the family rift that began in 2020 appears headed toward a permanent, unbridgeable divide, and William seems not just prepared for that outcome, but actively working toward it. Your thoughts. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think William will strip Harry and Meghan's titles, or will he use the smarter strategy of making them irrelevant? Is William being too harsh, or is he doing what's necessary to protect the monarchy? Does Kate's support for William surprise you? Do you think Harry and Meghan deserve to keep their titles? Can this family rift ever be healed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is one of the most consequential developments in modern royal history, so I'm really interested in hearing different perspectives. If you found this deep dive valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates as this situation continues to develop throughout 2026. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.